Greetings, residents. Welcome to our first Talk of the Town of January 2023. I want to wish you all a very happy new year. I hope that you had a wonderful time with family and friends over the extended holiday season, and especially on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. We look forward to seeing you, working with you closely during 2023. This morning, I'd like to just highlight some of the initiatives that we will be undertaking this year, and this is follow-up to previous ones. In each year, at the beginning of the year, I look at where we've come from, what we still have to do, and what we would like to focus on in 2023, and of course the years beyond. So this year, our initiatives here, these are what I call the foundational initiatives. We set this up every year, and each letter is a letter from the town of Wappinger name, and we highlight particular initiatives that are related to those categories. Of course, there's a lot more that goes into it. The first category that I've mentioned is wellness, and this is kind of the general category that reflects everything else that follows, and other aspects which I and the town board focus on. Our priority is, of course, the overall wellness of the community, the safety, health, which covers all of the categories that I will discuss. The next item in the Wappinger is the A. And this we have always historically looked at from the arts culture aspect, and that includes also a history of the community. And we have our, also I've added this year academic achievement. And this is in part because we work very closely with the Wappinger Central School District, Superintendent Dwight Bonk and his excellent team, and we are constantly looking at ways to enhance the student, teacher, professional community within our town, providing opportunities not only for them to speak, but also for us and the town board and our residents to interact with the community. Arts and culture will continue with some new initiatives and continuation of old initiatives as well. The third letter, which is P, the first P in Wappinger, which is so important. Of course, it relates back to wellness, but P is what we have as people, and the focus and priority on our people. This includes everyone, but certainly we highlight areas that we have focused our energy, our board initiatives in helping people that really need some assistance or some recognition or some space to meet. This includes our seniors, our veterans, our local heroes, reflected also in our banners, and we're looking at extending that program to other heroes in our community. Of course, very high on the list is accessibility for all, those folks that need universal accessibility and a little bit of help in their lives, their athletics, their community participation. And of course, throughout all this, we very much focus on diversity, diversity of our peoples, our workforce, and of what we have to offer those folks. The next P is parks and recreation, and this is ongoing. It is really additive to all that we've been doing. We will have more initiatives to continue to improve, expand, enhance our parks and recreation. We're looking at other ways in working with the community on enhancing our athletic fields. I have a request to look at an all-purpose football soccer field. We are also working very closely with the school district and others on what we may be able to do in this particular area. So stay tuned. Our recreation program, of course, is ever expanding, and now that we have come out of the COVID restrictions, we are able to do a lot more and are committed to extending those programs throughout the community. The next item, letter in Wappinger, is the I. And this I have always historically used for infrastructure. This continues. We'll be building upon our past successes, and this includes water, sewer, and also highway infrastructure, highway congestion. We're working with the state and county on programs that will, I hope, help to improve our congestion on Route 9 and Route 9D. We have already had successful initiatives during my administrations relating to highway improvement, old Hopewell Road, Myers Corner, the roundabout on Route 376, New Hackensack, is very successfully accomplished. Still some landscaping to take place. And next, this year, you will be seeing the completion of the improvements, actually the rebuilding of the bridge that goes across Wappinger Creek on Route 9, the Finari Bridge, and that's because of both a combination of infrastructure needs as well as drainage and keeping a lot of what is deposited on the roads from going into the creek. And so we are looking at these and other initiatives. I have talked with Commissioner Balkine on several occasions, and other road improvements in the town, such as at Sergeant Palmatier and Middlebush Road, major traffic jams associated with particularly our buses that come back to the Wappinger Junior High. So these infrastructure programs, new grant applications will be highlighted to help improve the wellness of our community and to extend town municipal water and sewer to our residents. The next item is the letter N. I have that as natural resources and environmental protection. We've always had that item on the list. This year we're extending the initiatives, looking at a variety of programs that not just are designed to help preserve farmland like we did with Ober Creek Farms, working closely with Alex Reese, but also very importantly the improvement, preservation of the Wappinger Creek, also the Sprout Creek. We plan to initiate a number of the improvements recommended in the 2 9-element studies. Additionally, drainage that primarily goes into those 2 creeks. A lot of the drainage ways have been clogged over the years, where over 30, 40 years of sediment, of tree leaves, to all sorts of debris. And also we see some of our culverts going under our roads to be in need of repair. Mike Sheehan and our highway department have doing a great job with respect to a number of culverts, retention ponds, but we still have a number of challenges and issues in the town relating to this. A number of our residents continue to suffer from excessive water that seeps into their property. And of course, we have a tremendous amount of wetlands in the town, and that is part of our problem. A lot of availability of water, but shallow water that tends to sit and to build up. So natural resources and environmental protection, these are just but a few of the items that we will be looking at. We are an MS4 community, so I and the town board and our staff pay very close attention to what our developers are doing, may do. The planning board also imposes a number of restrictions, and I believe we will see that continue to be strengthened. Certainly that's part of my goal and objective for this year, as it has been for the past years. But we'll build upon what we've already done. The next letter in Wappinger is the G. This stands for Government Code Reform and Enforcement. You will be seeing a number of discussions at the board level and other levels, with respect to improving, enhancing our codes that will give us greater strength to enforce codes more meaningfully, because a number of our codes are written 30, 40 years ago and are lax on the ability to enforce, as well as to issue fines and penalties that we would have to be taken to our courts. Our justice court here works very closely with us, so we want to strengthen that ability and make sure that our residents are looked after, that their properties are taken care of when there may be other disturbances out there. So the code reform is a top priority. We also have a number of old, outdated code sections that relate to our water and sewer districts back at the day when we had multiple 9 or more private districts. The code, if you look at the code sections in the town code, it still is related to that, not to the more modern central water and sewer districts that we have today. The next letter, the next to the last, is E. This is for economic growth and financial responsibility. And again, very important as we look at our tax base, our ability to provide the goods and services that we are providing to our community and working together with other communities. So we will be continuing to focus on this aspect, particularly as we look at our Route 9 and part of our Route 9D corridor. That's where much of economic growth and development can occur. Also working closely with the county with respect to Route 376, the airport industrial corridor. When I say industrial, I mean industry, and that's largely light industry services. And as the water and sewer in that area improves, we're working on decommissioning the Royal Ridge property. We call Midpoint Park as well. And so that's grant monies. We've gotten some preliminary grant monies, and we'll be doing some more work in that area to the extent that we can extend municipal sewer and water into that area, working closely with the county. This will be a real plus, for our residents, such as on Hackensack Heights Road, and also our businesses that we find in our nursing home and other features that provide service to the community and to Dutchess County Airport. And last, but by no means least, is the R in Wappinger, the last letter, and this I title as resiliency. And basically that again covers, it begins with the wellness of our community, and it finishes with the resiliency of our community, and not just all the items that are in between that I've discussed, but also some other initiatives that we're looking at to make our community even more vibrant and resilient, particularly as we face even tougher economic times, not just in the year ahead, which we are seeing a lot of economic signs that we were looking at last year and the year before of potential global economic hardships and challenges. We have positioned the town, the board and I have worked very closely, and we got another excellent budget approved that I had submitted back in the fall, and this is going to be very important to our overall resiliency and our ability to look after our residents, our organizations, our employees, of our first responders, and a variety of issues that make Wappinger a very attractive place to live. So you'll be hearing more from me and from our boards, with respect to these items, going forward. And should you have any questions, or should you like to volunteer to be a participant in these initiatives, I'm more than happy to sit down, talk with you, and so is any of our board members. Currently, Bill Beal is our board member from the 1st Ward. The 2nd Ward is Angela Bettina. 3rd Ward is Al Casella, and the 3rd Ward is Chris Phillips, sorry, and the 4th Ward is Al Casella. So please, reach out to your ward representatives too on the board. So please stay safe and healthy, particularly with a number of ailments running around. The new variants of COVID are quite significantly affecting. We expect to see more impact as other variants come in from China and elsewhere. My son, who's a medical doctor, is encouraging everyone where they can, where they feel comfortable in getting a booster shot, to do so. While it's not 100% effective against the new variants, it does help minimize hospitalization and serious disease. So until soon, please stay safe and remain well. Thank you.